Just stay there, breathe into that area. Maybe it's your hips. Maybe it's your knee. Maybe it's your thumb. So breathe into that area, create a little more space, open it up, heal it with your breath. On your next breath in, let's do a little Ujjayi breathing, a little audible sound at the base of the throat. Inhale. And exhale through the nose. Empty all the way out. Do that again, inhale. Audible sound. That's the hardest thing you're going to do all class. Inhale. And exhale. So keeping the eyes closed. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, listen to my words. Lean forward slightly, bow the head downward, take a breath in. We're going to do a lion's breath. It's a clearing breath and stretching our tongue out, opening our mouth wide. Breathe in and exhale. Bowing the head a little bit further down. Breathe in, lift the chin. Keeping the eyes closed. We're going to do that again. One more lion's breath. Inhale. And exhale. And then lifting the head, keeping the eyes shut. Bring your palms together, rub them. Create a little friction between your palms, a little Agni fire on this cold Santa Cruz morning. Feel the warmth yet? Notice the smoothness of your skin. Your hands do so much work throughout the day. And then cupping your hands, we're going to place them on your eyes. Close your eyes if they're open. Block out all the light. Keeping your eyes shut. Breathe in. Breathe out. Then take your hands away from your face. Bring your palms back together. Bow the head forward. Setting an intention for your practice. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy, free from harm. Keep them safe. Keep them healthy. Lifting the chin. So we're going to do another clearing exercise, which is an Om. So many times we start our class with this sound, the sound in everything, the vibrational sound of Om. So listen or play along, give it a try. Inhale. Beautiful. I could hear you all. And then rest your hands on your legs. Keep your eyes shut for another moment. Draw the shoulders down. I want you to really tune into your posture with your eyes closed. So really bring your awareness to your posture and how tall your spine is. If you're leaning forward or to the side, which is very common because we're tight usually on our dominant side. So see if you can even out the hips on your chair. And draw the shoulders away from the ears and then draw the shoulders back toward each other slightly. Now when that happens, sometimes the lower rib cage juts forward. See if you can draw the navel in. Now you're thinking, how am I going to breathe here? So give it a try. Notice that it might be even easier with a very straight, tall spine. And exhale. On this next breath in, we're just going to do a couple of these. Breathe in. We're going to retain the breath at the top. Hold your breath. And then sip in more air, get fuller. A little more. Pause. Exhale, clearing through the mouth. One more inhale. Sipping more air. Nice and round and full. And exhale. And open your eyes. So in this practice today, I want to make a suggestion. Sometimes I like to offer the fact that when we come to our chair to do these movements, we've been doing them for years, some of us. And today, try doing it with a completely, like you've never done this before. Find something new with every breath, with every move. So see if you can come to the chair with a beginner's mind. All right, scoot to the edge of your chair. Start moving. Hands resting right on top of the legs. We're going to loop the shoulders up and around. So when you lift the shoulders up, the rib cage lifts up. And we're softening the muscles that help us breathe when we just do this movement up and around. So those muscles are part of our shoulder that help us breathe, attached to the bones. Last week we talked about the scalene muscle, the neck muscles that are very important for breathing. All right, draw those shoulders back pretty firmly and then drop the head downward. See how that feels. Keeping the shoulders engaged pretty firmly, lift the head up. Again, drop the head down towards your chest. Engage the shoulders back if you let go of that. And then see if you can draw the shoulders a half an inch further downward. Take a breath in, lift the head up. And then bring the head to neutral, soften, relax. So the operative word today is beginner's mind in a relaxed state. We're going to try to relax. All right, let's try bringing the shoulder up to the ear and then dip the head over toward it. See if you can touch the two together. Drop the shoulder down, keep it down. And then lift the shoulder up, see if you can squeeze those two together, just opening up that side. You feel the pull on the left side, but you're lifting up and down that right shoulder, squeezing at the top. Keep it down, bring the head over to the other side, do the same thing. Up and down. Feel that aura. So we're looking straight ahead. You can close the eyes here because it's kind of intense. And then bring the head to center. Drop the head down. Let's stretch the back of the neck from what we just did. Inhale, bring the head to neutral. Take your left hand to the side of the chair, grab a hold of the chair, and just lean away from that arm. Move the head any which way, maybe down to the chest and up. You could do a circle with your chin. Inhale, come back to the center. Square up your hips, let go of the chair, and then lean over toward that extended arm. We're going to just do this with the arm. We're going to rotate it. So we're moving that arm in the socket, letting gravity take it. And reverse. Inhale, square everything back up. Take a breath in, knit the ribs, lengthen the back of the neck. There we go. And then hold on to the other side. Lean, move, breathe. So I'm moving my head toward my chest and then lifting up, and I feel a big pull on the left side, on the right side of the neck where I'm holding on. Then bring that ear right over the shoulder as you come back to center. And then we're going to lean over to the other side and rotate the arm. round in a circle, and reverse. All right, both arms to the side. Turn the hands so they face forward in this Tadasana position. Draw the shoulder blades together. I want you to strengthen and stretch across the chest. The muscles between the shoulder blades are engaging and creating a little back cleavage. Lengthen the arms all the way. You can't really see my arms very well, but my arms are as straight and strong as possible. So I feel an actual extension in the bicep. So if Peggy Church is here, I remember you telling me about your bicep. So this just stretching this way is really helpful with that muscle. That takes all the knots out. All right, with the straight, long arms, we're gonna lift the arms overhead. Breathe as we go, bringing the hands to touch and circling them down to the heart. So pay attention to your heart center for a moment. Plant your thumbs right in the center of your chest. Press your hands together, hold here, close your eyes, take a breath. Exhale the arms, release them down to the side. Inhale the arms overhead. Maybe look up, maybe open your eyes now, letting in more light. Paying attention to your breath as you bring your hands down to the heart. How do we feel today? Yeah, we're just kind of warming up all those muscles, seeing how the body feels after a good night's sleep, hopefully. Touching the hands together. So these exercises do help us sleep because we're breathing. Breathe in and out through the nose. Give it a try this time. Inhale. How'd that go? Yeah. All right, drop the arms to the side. We're going to open and close the hands. So I'm making a fist with my hands, both sides. And then I'm going to flick the hands like I'm getting rid of something into the earth. Now, this could be some kind of negativity and negative thought, something that's happened in the last 24 hours. You're going to get rid of it. We're just going to let go of it, whatever it is. This is a practice of letting go. Keep going. Just give it away. Give it away what no longer serves you. All right, drop the arms. Notice your hands. Notice the sensation in your fingers. Turn the palms so they face forward like you're standing in Tadasana and we're seated. Draw the navel in. Bring the sit bones directly in line right on the chair. So we're not rolling back. We're not curving the lower back. Inhale the arms. We're going to bring them overhead again. And reach one arm at a time. So I'm grabbing a hold of the ladder or a rope, squeezing my fist, yeah, like that, right above the head. So we're doing a side body stretch. Yep, just like that. You know this one. You don't know this one because you're brand new to this. But doesn't it feel good? All right, a couple more. The last one. All right, drop that right arm to the side, straight down to the ground, lean over to the right, look down at the floor. Taking the bottom arm, we're going to parallel the arms, making this crescent pose, this C curve with our side body. All right, I'm going to turn my head now and look further down toward the floor, stretching that neck, and then inhale, come back to center. Reach one each arm, and then drop the left hand down, lean over to the left, reach that bottom arm, reach that top arm long, and then turn the head, look down at the floor if you'd like, and then lift that bottom arm, parallel the arms, making a crescent pose. Oh, this is so good for the side body, something we never do in our daily lives. And then dropping the shoulders, we're going to grab a hold of a wrist with our hands. You can take the left hand to the right wrist if you'd like and extend that arm long. And change sides. Extend. All right. Release, relax. Bring your hands behind your head, interlaced. Open the elbows wide. Lift the chin, press the head slightly into your hands. And then we're going to stretch the upper back, only drawing the elbows alongside the head, dropping the chin down. Exhale, look down. Pressing the head into the hands, open the elbows wide. Lift the chin, look up, open the eyes. And again, just the upper back. We're not doing cat-cow yet. And that's an exhale. And then press the head into the hands, open the elbows wide, look up, breathe in, and back to neutral, keeping the hands there. All right, soften everything. Draw the navel in, find your sit bones again. Bringing the elbows slightly more toward the back. We're going to dip one elbow to the side, lifting the other side. See if you can make this very wide triangle with your elbows. So remember, we just did this with our arms straight. Now we're just dipping an elbow over to the side, but it's still a very intense stretch, even more into the armpit, I feel. And then come back to center. Pressing the head into the hands, dropping the chin down. We're going to come into a more rounded spine. Roll back, posterior tilt your pelvis into a cat. Exhale, inhale. Come forward into a cow. One more cat. Inhale to cow. Breathe in. Bring everything to neutral. Relax. Find your sit bones. Take your hands off your head. Spin the hands so the palms face upward. You do that? Good. Extend the arms. Can you squeeze your head with your upper arms? And then bring the arms right about chest height. Scooping up towards your chin, palms face up now. Inhale. And then press, exhale. Again, inhale. And exhale. All right, stretch those fingers, stretch those wrists. Bend the elbows. My palms are facing you. Soften the shoulders. I want you to engage in the armpit. Pull your hands apart. Pull, pull, pull. Feel that extension underneath the arms and the serratus, posterior, anterior muscles. One more time, press. Long arms. For your fingers and your wrists. And then bring the hands closer to your chest, elbows wide, and pull. Unlace your fingers, bring your palms together, Anjali Mudra. Hold here for a moment. Take a breath in and exhale, relax. All right, turning to the right, let's go into a prayer twist. Spinning the belly, see if you can really turn. So not just the head, the whole body, the whole upper body's turning. From the base of the spine, planting your feet firmly, the kneecaps are pointing forward. And then come back to the center. It's so good for your waist. So now we're stretching the obliques a different way. Spinning them, and we're massaging our organs. So don't turn the head too much. Keep it in line with your hands if you can. And back to center. All right, we're going to go into a little deeper prayer twist. We're going to turn to the right again, and we're going to dip our left elbow between our legs. So we're going to lean forward like that, keeping the hands where they are. Turn and maybe turn the head a fraction of an inch. Inhale, come back up. Breathe in. Come to the center, to the other side. Inhale, exhale. And dipping that elbow between the legs. Maybe turning the head. And inhale, come back to the center. Look straight ahead. All right, we're going to work our wrists a little bit. Extend the arms forward, palms are pressing. And then separate the hands like you're Superwoman. You're all super women, okay? Even the men here, okay? Super women, the fingers are long, and then lift the hands, flex the wrists. So my hands are like that, see that? Yep. And then extend the fingers long, super people. And then drop the hands so the fingers are pointing downward. Now, if your hands are higher than your shoulders, drop your arms. And then lift. So this is high plank. Now we're going to come into chaturanga. Drawing the hands towards your body, grazing the elbows alongside the rib cage. Bring the hands closer and then press away. Really press at the bottom of the hands or at the wrist. And again, lowering back down, chaturanga. Good work. And press the hands away, high plank. All right, extend those fingers long. And we're going to swim, like we're doing a breaststroke, to the side. Lean over. We're going to stretch our arms. Grab a hold of your chair. We're going to stretch the top of the arms and the top of the shoulders. Now we're into this plank position of our spine. Draw the chin down to the chest. Arms are long. I'm leaning forward. Really like that feeling. And then let go. Bring the arms to the side. And then bring your arms into cactus. Spread the fingers wide. See if you can make right angles with your elbows. This is for you, Lee. Lee Ray. Yep, now bring those elbows to the back. And then bring the hands together. See if you can touch your elbows right in front of your face. Lift an inch and down an inch. Lift an inch and down an inch. Lift an inch, come back into cactus. So now we're going to extend the arms. We're going to come into Garudasana arms. So that was one option, is bringing the hands and the elbows to touch. The other option is bringing your hands to your shoulders, right? And then the Garudasana arms looks like this. We're intertwining our arms, bringing the palms together. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what this, I don't know if you can see that, but I have my arms intertwined. A lot of arms don't do this, but hands to the shoulders feel really good. Or bringing the hands and the elbows to touch. Those three options. Or none. Inhale the elbows wherever you are. And exhale the elbows into the chest, into a cat. And there she is, right on cue. And lift the elbows up into a cow. I don't have a cow in the house today. And elbows to the ribs, pressing the elbows into the belly as you round. Last one, inhale, lift them off your chest. Unwind, release. Feel warmth in the shoulders, relax. All right, let's shake the arms a little bit, get the tension out. So we really stretch the upper back into the traps, this trapezius muscle up here. And we also, when we grab a hold of the back of the chair, we're stretching across the chest and this pectoral area. There's a pec minor and a pec major that attaches out here into that whole shoulder humerus bone. All right, lift the arms up, palms face upward, and then lift and bring the hands back to cactus. Hold here. See if you can bring your right arm. I'm looking at myself, so my right arm is way tighter than my other side because I'm very right-handed. So I feel like this side is a little more difficult. So I'm trying harder on the right side, but I want to relax. I want to find that balance between efforting and relaxing. Can you find it? Holding here. Take a breath. So we're not lifting these arms with the tops of our shoulders. We're using our bicep, just our arms, and underneath the armpit. All right, bringing the hands and the elbows to touch. Let's just do this one time. Inhale, lift the elbows up a little higher. Come back into cactus pose. Spread the fingers so we stretch them. All right, now Garudasana, or hands to the shoulder, or hands and elbows to touch. So if you're going into Garudasana arms, you're going to change sides. And if your hands are to the shoulders, you're going to change sides with the other arm on top. Lifting the elbows upward, dropping the elbows downward into a cat. Inhale, lift. Last one. Exhale, release. Feel that stretch in the upper back that we all need because we're sitting at our computers way too much. Unwind. Release the hands to the legs. Close the eyes. Tadasana. Just notice. Observe. Find your breath. Rest your mind right on that breath. I know it wants to go crazy right now. Oh, I didn't do it right. I couldn't do that. I'm not sure about it. Let it go. All right. We're going to take our right leg. We're going to come into pigeon in a second. You're going to lift that knee up towards your shoulder, up and down a couple times. I noticed, I remember, I should say, that sometimes it's hard to grab that leg. Maybe for Ivan, if you have a strap, lift the knee up. Just relax your ankle. I just want you to get this action for your hip. It's getting circulation into the hip muscles and into the hip joint. The more we move our joints, the more lubricated they become and they feel better. So just up and down. I'm using my strap. All right, so if you have a strap and you're using it, it's really nice. You can kind of hoist that foot into this position, making a figure 4 with our legs. Sometimes it's nice to take the bottom foot slightly toward the midline for a more stable base. Got that? And just rest your hands on your shin, lower leg, and then lift that knee up and down a couple of times. You can use your hand if you want, but not a lot of pressure. If your foot does not go on your leg, the foot can go on the side of your foot on a block. Like that, just opening up the hip. Right? Catherine, I don't know how your hip is feeling today, but do what you can here. Any movement is good. Any movement is good. And Suze, your foot is on the side of the foot. Your foot is on the block. So holding on to your shin, you're going to pull yourself forward towards your leg. So you're getting taller rather than rounding the lower back, right? Flat back. I'm not going to go very far, and I'm dorsal flexing. That means flexing the top foot. So you're bringing the foot towards your shin. Got it? Good work. Inhale, come back up. You felt a little bit of outer hip work there. Breathe into that hip. Keep that foot flexed for another moment. We're going to do it again. Second time's a charm. Relax, relax, folding, flat back, not going far, not dropping the head. You know who you are. Inhale, come back up. All right, turn towards your knee, lift it towards your opposite shoulder, and down. Keeping the top foot flexed. Now, if you're doing something funky with the bottom foot, press it down into the floor, really stamp it down, anchoring the hip. All right, drop that knee, sit tall. We're going to come into our twist. So grab a hold of that knee, bring your hand to the back of the chair, and see what you can do here. This feels pretty good in the spine. Great stretch for the lower back. Now, if your belly's doing something it shouldn't, I want you to draw it in toward the spine to support the lower back as you go. And unwind, inhale. Extend that leg. Straight forward. Flex your foot. Just want to open up the ankle for a second. You can drop the heel to the floor and point and flex. I'm going to keep mine up in the air just to work my quad for a moment. I'm going to circle and circle. That feels good. And release. It's all about relaxing, feeling good, finding the balance, right? Other side. Use the strap if you need to, up and down. Notice the groin area here, right at the crease. Oh, very tight. When we sit a lot, it gets very tight. Those muscles start to contract. We've all felt it. So up toward the shoulder if you can, not turned out, just straight up. So if it's not going up very high, that's totally fine. If something's in the way, lift it up. Placing the foot, sitting tall, hands right on top of the shin, completely different on this side. And then lift that knee up and down a few times. If you need to bring the bottom foot slightly toward the midline, please do for more stability. Up and down. Now take this foot, if it's kind of a noodle, I want you to flex it. When you flex your foot, it activates the muscles that support your knee joint because they are attached from down here, way up here. All right, I'm using my hand just to kind of open up that hip because it needs it. It's kind of a cold morning, right? So I'm going to turn slightly toward that knee and then lift it up. We're going to stretch all the way down in here. This is for you, Mary Fran. The IT band. I recommend trying this just once a day at least. Feeling any pinching or pain in the back area. All right, a couple more. Rocking up. All right, dropping down. We're going to come into our twist. Grab a hold of the chair. Now really plant that bottom foot, stabilizing the hips. That really creates a little more space. Turn, turn. Inhale, come back to the center. Place your hands right on your shin and pull your shin slightly towards you. I thought I forgot. Now we're going to lean over that leg. Lengthen out the neck, plank pose. A little more weight into the bottom foot. Top foot is firmly flexing toward the shin. Inhale, come back up. Breathe it up. Relax. Relax your hip. Relax. Just let it go. No effort. Now inhale. Pull that leg towards you. Lift. Breathe. Lean. Exhale. And inhale, coming back up. Sitting tall. You're going to take that leg and extend it forward and lining that foot with your knee and your knee with your hip, point flex. Drop the heel if you need to. And circle. And circle. Flex the foot. Relax. Bring your foot back in. Take your hands, bring your feet hip width apart. Take your hands to the outside of your shins, right below the knee, like that. Now press the legs into your hands and release. So what I want you to feel here is when you press your knees into your hands, there should be a little bit of a flaring action in the SI joint, the sacral iliac joint, right here between the sacrum and the pelvic bone. So when you press, I want you to feel a flaring, like a spreading apart. You also feel it in the outer hip maybe, and the side of the leg and this IT band. Maybe up here in the tensor fasciolata area where this tendon comes up. Pressing and releasing. Keeping the feet flat. Press the feet, press the hands, press the legs, and release. Again, breathe, press. It takes a lot of effort because every single muscle is working, just doing that. and release. Last time. Give it a press. And release. All right, other side of the leg. Those are the adductors, ADD. These are the abductors that we're going to use and activate by pressing our legs into our block. So I've got the block in this position, a long way. Placing the block right between my legs, not on the knees, not in the groin, but halfway. Now, when you press the block, you're going to feel a little rotation in the feet, and the inside of the feet, right here at that bone, the big toe mound, I call it. The big toe mound is pressing into the floor. It has to in order to squeeze the block. Well, it doesn't have to, but it is activated for sure. Squeezing the block, activating your feet, inside seam, and release. Again, pressing the block. Opposite of what we just do, we're doing the abductor work. And release. And press that block. This is good for knee joints, by the way. And release. And press. Press the feet. All right, now I know we're kind of leaning forward and might even be rounding the lower back, which I hope you're not doing too much. I want you to lift up and then press the block. Oh, even more effort. And relax. Grab your block for a moment. Relax your legs, relax your feet. Catch up your breath. And then take the block long way still between the lower legs. Grab a hold of it. You might have to bring the feet slightly closer together, which I did. And squeeze the block. Now we feel a big activation up here, even though we're squeezing down there. And relax. And squeeze. And relax. And squeeze that block. Hold. Sit tall. Breathe. And relax completely. All right, a little further. This time we're going to take the block to the ground. You can see my feet. I'm going to bring my ankle bones to either side of the block and squeeze it. So I feel this position of the block kind of encompasses the entire leg and activates all of what we just did. Up here and here, and now we're down there, and it's just kind of setting everything up. Using the glutes, the inner leg, adductor muscles, maybe even your hamstrings a tiny bit, and relax and press. Maybe not your hamstrings, but sounded good. And relax and press that block with your ankle bones. Hold here. So we're gonna do a little lower ab work while we're here. We're not gonna lift the block unless you want to. But first, just resting your hands right on top of your legs. We're gonna, with a flat back, lean toward the back, not resting your back on the chair, but maybe an inch. And then sit tall, nice and centered, right on top of the sit bones. And flat back, come back. Squeeze the block as you go, that's the important part. And that anchors the feet, anchors the hips. And neutral, do you feel it down here? And squeeze and lean back slightly, maybe an inch. Relax your shoulders. And neutral. Last one. So we're going to squeeze the block, lean back. Now, Erica, I don't want you to lift the block, okay, if your back is bothering you or anyone that's your lower back is bothering you today, because you have to lean back a lot for leverage to lift the knees like that, squeezing the block and hold. Drop the block, slowly descend your feet, sit back up. Keep the block there. Bring your hands closer to your knees as you roll back into a cat. We're going to stretch that out. Come forward into a cow. We're going to go down to the floor, leading with the chin. Lengthen out, drop down, bring your hands to your block. Breathe. One more breath. Now lift your head, take your block if you have it. We're going to slide the block away from you with your hands on top into this down dog position, stretching your spine. Take a breath here. One more. Then slide that block towards you. Bring your hands to the top of your knees. Bring your elbows in towards your ribs. Draw the navel to the spine. And then press using your arm strength to come back to a seated tall spine. How'd you do? Thumbs up? Yeah. All right, sit and rest for a moment. Close your eyes. Breathe and release, relax. All right. Yep, we're gonna stand up. Come standing, stand behind your chair. I'm gonna turn to the side, and I describe what we're gonna do. And bring my hands to the chair for support. If you don't need this, we are gonna do a few heel lifts with both feet. So standing tall, straight leg, looking right over your chair, we're gonna lift both heels off the floor. And then set them back down. Straight legs, lift and down, lift and down. What muscle are we using? Gastrocnemius, the calf muscle, lifting. This is very good for your Achilles tendon. And lift and tap. Calf raises, lift and tap. How many was that? At least 4. Let's do one more. I want a little bit of action going on in that calf muscle. Lift those heels. Hold, look straight ahead, holding onto your chair. Breathe and release the heels. Slowly descend, straight leg. As soon as they meet the floor, you're going to bend your knees. Straighten your legs. Bend your knees. And straighten. And bend. Are the knees going directly over the second toe? Look down at the ground. See, make sure that's happening. And straighten. Bending your knees, tracking the knees right over your feet. And straighten. Last one, we're going to hold. Just bending the knees. We're not in a real chair pose yet. Bending the knees. And release, lengthen the legs. As soon as the legs become straight and long, lift the heels. Bend the knees with the heels lifted. Drop the heels to the floor. You're in a bent knee now, and now you're in a straight leg. One more time, lift the heels. Just for your knee joints. And bend the knees. Heels are off the ground. Toes are pressing into the floor. And then slowly are shaking it. Descend those heels and lengthen the legs. We're going to reverse that. Inhale. Exhale, bend. Lift. Now this is really good for the quads, and you'll feel a big stretch into the feet and then the ankles into the calf. Drop the heels. Bend the knees. Lift the heels off the floor as high as you can, and then press the standing straight leg and release. All right, we're going to stand in Tadasana, mountain pose. Standing tall, the feet are directly underneath your hips. Shoulders are soft, shoulders are engaged, belly's in. Now take the front of your legs and see if you can draw them up toward the groin, straight up. Soften the eyes. And then release. All right, stepping away from your chair, we're going to try this. Bring your feet as wide as your mat, which means it's wider than your hips. If you're not standing on a mat, no big deal, but your feet are wider than your hips. And then take your toes and turn them out slightly. Yep. You're going to bend your knees. We're going to come into a squat. So that's where we're going. So you're going to bend your knees and straighten your legs. I'm going to walk a little further away from my chair. Bend your knees. See if you can get low enough to bring your hands to the floor. You can do that. Maybe to the hands to here. Maybe your hands are here. And lengthen the legs. Gotta keep squatting. Don't know squat, but you gotta keep doing it. All right. Bending the knees. We're going to get low enough, maybe to the hands to the seat of the chair. Now your back end is pointing backwards. Maybe you're folding over the floor. Maybe your hands come to the ground. Maybe you can do that. Yeah. If the feet are nice and wide and you have open hips, that could be a possibility. Sasha, you should be able to do this. Yeah. And slowly come back up. Come to standing. Bring your feet parallel to each other. Step your right foot forward. And we're going to come into a lunge pose with the back heel off the floor. Like that. Lunge pose. Yesterday we worked on Virabhadrasana 1. And that's with the back heel down. And today we're on Jayasana. It's what it's called. Lunge pose. So bend the front knee, back leg is straight. Both hands are on the back of the chair. Light touch of the chair if you can. And hold here. Now, one of the actions I want you to feel is the left hip coming forward and the right hip slightly going back, and see if you can take the bend of the back knee. Now, if you can, draw the navel in a little bit more. Keep drawing the left hip forward. Holding here, breathing, and release. Change sides. Left foot forward, right leg back. Back toes are tucked. Now, if that's not an option for you, drop that back heel. Back leg is straight, front knee is bent. And now the action I want you to feel is the right hip coming forward and the left hip going back. Keep lengthening the quad and the right leg. And then taking the belly inward slightly, supporting. It feels like you can just stay here forever. Looking straight ahead. Soften the shoulders. Relax. Relax into your pose. There's an equal amount of efforting and relaxation. And stepping the back foot in. Walking the feet away. We're going to come into box pose, down dog. Bringing the feet hip width apart. So one of the things I've been noticing is that the feet are in front of the hips and you're doing that. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'll exaggerate a lot. So you're doing like a squat like we just did. But in this pose, the feet are directly underneath the hip. So I'm walking the feet away further and further. So I'm making an L shape with my body. And then as soon as I get there, I'm going to soften right here in the back of my legs. The knees can be bent, but this part is directly over my heel. That straight line. Now, if you don't have the shoulder opening to do this, you can drop one arm, let it hang. Knees are bent. Or if the other arm isn't working, or both arms, you can just bend the elbows. See if you can drop your head between your upper arms. See how that goes. Drawing the navel up, supporting your back. Knees are bent. Take a few more breaths. Can you relax? One more breath. Elongating that spine. And I'm going to dome the upper back and the middle back upward, kind of roll forward, and then walk my feet toward my chair. I'm going to turn toward you. We're going to come into a balanced pose. So stable on both feet. Feet are flat, toes are spread. Kneecaps are lifted. Shifting your weight into your left leg. Lift your right heel, maybe bringing your hand to your hip. And this could be your pose, your balanced pose, just lifting the knee forward. If you want to come into tree pose, Vrikshasana, bring the knee to the side, point the toes, grab the foot. You can do that or that. But placing the foot on the knee joint is not an option. It's either down here at the ankle or up here at the thigh. And you can come to a balance. Slow and steady breath. One hand to the heart, both hands on the chair, pressing the foot onto the leg. And then as you press, I want you to lift up, nice and tall. And release. Set that foot carefully. Just give that standing leg a good shake. Set that foot back down. Even out your weight. Other side. So do the same thing on this side, whatever it was. Could be a knee lifted. The standing leg is very straight. You're going into a tree pose. Bring that knee slightly to the side. Bring it down to the ankle. Maybe the tip of the toe to the floor. Maybe you grab your ankle. Maybe you let go. See what you can do here. One point of focus. I know this is Alicia's favorite pose. I always think of you in Vrikshasana. And well done, everyone. Release that leg. Give that standing leg a good shake. And release. Ready to sit back down? Have a seat. Extend your right leg forward. Flex your right foot. Just going to stretch the back of the leg. We'll do one leg at a time. Just lean over that leg. And as soon as you do that, I want you to draw the right hip back. Yeah, just like that. So drawing the right hip back, the left hip comes slightly forward. And, you know, if you want to touch your toe for fun, great. You can even draw your toes, give it a good stretch. Other side. So lean over, slide your hand down, and then draw that hip back. So you even out, you square up the hips a little bit. So this hip goes back and the right hip goes forward. And lift those toes, maybe touch them. The back is not rounded. And release. Shoulder loop, the shoulders up, back and down. And again, bringing the right arm across, left underneath. Squeeze that arm in, turn the head. Stretch. And change sides. Just a quick stretch of the shoulder. Did a lot of shoulder work. And then bring both arms to the side. Inhale, look up. Bring the hands to the heart. Shavasana. This is our last pose, resting pose. So you're going to sit quietly with your eyes shut. This is the most important pose of them all. So letting go of the breath in your Shavasana, let whatever's supporting your body, the chair, the floor, fully let go into that pose. Eyes are closed. Toes and fingers are very relaxed. Let go of your jaw. If your brain becomes a little more active, just rest those thoughts on your breath and let it go.